You probably thought this was going to be the physical health episode. Same. I know this week was supposed to go on a different path, but to be honest, this needs to be talked about because if you're on the path to self-transformation like I am, you're going to be dealing with this a lot, aka the shadow. We all know that when you're trying to change for the better, you're bound to hit some roadblocks. That's normal. But what I notice about myself is that I keep hitting the same roadblocks and cycles that I've hit over and over and over again for as long as I can remember. I think the scary part about self-transformation is confronting the reason why you do the things that you do. The why is often a lot scarier than the what. So that's what I've been dealing with this week, and hopefully by me explaining my why, maybe someone will feel a little bit more comfortable confronting themselves. A little bit of a warning, if you are sensitive to negative self-talk and would like to skip to the part where I just show you how I deal with my shadow, I will include a timestamp in the comments for you to skip this part. So I'd like to introduce the shadow. Hi. Misty would also like to help introduce the shadow. The shadow is just a version of yourself that doesn't really like to contribute anything except negativity and fear. And although those things can be useful in a moderate and balanced mindset, I am not balanced yet, and so my shadow has been a big hurdle for me to go over the past few months. When you decide you want to change or improve yourself, the shadow will do what it does. It will confront you with everything you don't like about yourself, with everything you hope isn't true, with things that are hard for you to deal with, and it can be really hard to stop. For example, when I try to respectfully price myself for a commission, my shadow says this. Do you really think you're worth that?
I don't think so. I'd go down a couple $100s if I were you. That's kind of selfish for you to be taking away that payment from another person who deserves it more. So why don't you put the pen down and put your worth back in someone else's hands, okay?
And when I try to get in front of a camera, my shadow says this.
Wow, you're still doing this? Jeez, when are you gonna realize that nobody wants you? You keep forcing your presence onto people every week. And for what? Because it's not value. You could not give value if you tried. Worthless soul, worthless girl, worthless creative, worthless space.
One of my shadows has a lot to do with my physical appearance and how that ties into my worth as a woman. It reflects something that I haven't really gotten over. Ugh, oh my God, Gaby! Stop talking about this. You talk about it like it's such a big deal, but it's not, and that's part of what makes you so pathetic.
It's not a big deal, and look, you just have to understand. You're disgusting. You're gross. You've always been the same sideshow freak you were when you were growing up. And don't let anybody's niceness and pity for you change that idea. You have not changed. People change. You don't change. You don't get better. You deserved what you got because you were disgusting. You can distract with your colors. You can hide behind your hair. But that doesn't change the fact that you are a complete burden to look at. And don't let anyone else make you feel otherwise.
On top of terrible things the shadow tries to tell you, sometimes your shadow also adds words to invalidate your entire purpose. When you feel like you know what you want to do and you love the idea, your shadow can say all types of things, true and false, to make you feel like you should just give up whatever you're trying to pursue. Purpose. Yours? No. God, you say that you want to help people and make them laugh and make them feel like they're their own superheroes, but you can't save anybody.
You didn't even save your own father. You spent your childhood on yourself, and it doesn't matter if you didn't know what to do and you didn't know how to help. You still focused on you instead of your own father, and now he's not here. Now he's not here, he's gone. So don't pretend and play games like you know how to help people. Don't pretend and play games like you're worth staying for, because he's not here. He's not here, he didn't stick around, so how can you expect anyone else to? Selfish girl, selfish soul, naive, selfish, worthless, nothing.
Isn't this episode fun? Don't you love it so much? As you can see, my shadows have a lot to do with low self-worth. And I thought that I had fixed everything. You know, I thought that I had gotten so much better, and in a lot of ways I have. I do respect myself a lot more than I used to, and I set boundaries for myself now, and I'm in the first healthy relationship of my life. But the reason why the shadow is becoming louder and coming forward more than it consciously ever has in my life before is because right now I'm in the phase where I am ready to take on everything that I've ever wanted to do and give myself the life that I want. I want my dreams to come true, you know? I want the life that I've written about in journals and read about in books. It is possible, and I'm so ready, but on the road to self-transformation, what we need to realize and remember is that anything and everything you have not dealt with is just gonna keep coming back to the surface and try to hit you until you stop and stay in your place. Which we don't want, right? We want to grow. So to deal with that, I would like to show you some exercises I do to counteract the bad thoughts and neutralize everything so that it makes it easier on the path to becoming the person you already are, just aren't letting yourself hear yet. Number 1, I write down as many shadow thoughts as I can. Anything that's not productive, anything that's just mean and keeps me from doing the things that I want is something I write down. Number 2, I write a counter thought to that idea, because if this is a debate between you and your shadow, someone's got to defend the other side. Why not you? And then, when I hear bad thoughts again, I read my counterpoints, and I read them over and over and over again. Another version of this exercise can be done with your friends, one person you trust, or even people you don't know. In the first episode of this series, I mentioned co-hosting a party with my best friend, and that party was just meant to support and encourage people who wanted to have their best journey this new year. One of the exercises she came up with was this. Take a piece of paper or a card and basically shit on yourself. Like, not really, but actually, yes. Say all of the things that you don't like about yourself or that you think other people don't like about you. Next step is to give that card or paper to somebody else. And on the other side, what that person is supposed to do is just write a positive statement, not necessarily arguing with that point, but just reframing it. It's nice because you don't even have to argue the negative things you think about yourself, you just have to be open to letting someone else see you in a different light. If you don't feel comfortable doing this with someone or don't feel like you can, I would suggest finding support in either therapy or books. In the description, I will link a therapy program I just signed up for, as well as my favorite books on this subject. These exercises are really simple, but I don't think their simplicity cancels out their value. You are so worth defending, especially from yourself. So in order to give back to you guys, I have made some free printables that I will link in the description box down below as well. These templates are just for you to use as you see fit, and they are for you to mark down your negative emotions as well as your counter thoughts, mark down how you feel that day, as well as a little section on the bottom where you can just take what you need. I even left little spaces for you to write down things that you think you need, so you can just cut them out and like keep them in your pocket on a bad day. I don't think the point of this video is to tell you to defeat your shadow. In a lot of ways, I think our shadows are necessary. They give us complexity as people. They keep us from jumping off of things that we shouldn't jump off of. I think the point is more to just learn to understand yourself and learn how to identify when the fear and the negativity is not productive. If you can understand your shadow and know when it's there, maybe it'll be easier for you to make decisions with your whole heart. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit dark, but I did keep up with my morning routine as well as my second challenge, and I will tell you all about that in next week's video. Bye! I love you!